Alright, then you heard the engines get fired up right there. So let's get the starting grid underway as we begin with the number 17 of Corbin McCauley. No surprise whatsoever to see him on the pole. And to his outside, it's the number 13 Chevrolet of Jared Ireland. And now moving on to row 2, we have the number 64 of Darcy Ford in third place, looking to put himself higher over the cut line after tonight. And then you got the number 7 of Andy Hurdle to his outside, who will hopefully, again, he's the first driver below the cut line, he'll look to put himself over after tonight.
All right, looking to row 3 now, and rounding out the top 5 is defending Earl Ross Cup champion Ty Higginbotham. Will start 5th in the number 97 Toyota. He'll have Scott Bailey for company on the outside. In the number 88 Chevy, he'll start 6th. Then you've got Justin Belmonte in the number 6 Ford, starting in 7th. He's in a pretty comfortable playoff position right now. Jason Butler, a man on the outside, he'll start 8th in his number 10 Chevy.
And now running at the top 10, we got the defending winner right here. It's the number 1 of CD Magram. I guess defending winner in a couple different ways. Depends on how you look at it. But again, won at Cher last year, won at Talladega last week. He'll be looking to go back-to-back right here. And to his outside, he is on the outside looking in. It's the number 3 Toyota of Dylan Baum. And now just outside the top 10, we got the number 77 Ford of Hunter Young. And to his outside, the driver in last in the playoff standings, currently trying to hope for a miracle here tonight, the number 23 of 2020 champion, Ryan Gibson.
And looking now to row number 7, we have the number 12 Toyota of Mike Marini starting in 13th. And then you've got another one of the drivers on the outside looking in as it relates to the round of 8 right now. Kyle Knoll in the 15th. He'll start 14th. And looking to row 8 now, you got Matthew Paytack a little bit further down the field than maybe he'd like. He'll start 15th in his number 21 Chevy. He'll have series founder Dan Cudmore on his outside. The number 2 Ford will start 16th.
And now rounding it out all about right here, starting 17, Tom Janikowski's number 93 Chevrolet. He will look to continue momentum back from Talladega last week, qualifying 5th and finishing 4th. Michael Wolford not on the track, but he qualified 18th in number 36 Chevrolet. And then to round out the field, you got the number 41 Ford of Jose Mercado starting 19th and last. And now we go back to the front of the field right here as we get set to go green for 250 miles, 167 laps. It's time to conclude the round of 12. The green flag for the North Carolina 250 is out. We're underway. Or I should say waving.
Yeah, I mean, it's functioning. It served its purpose. We're off and running. And Kel Surprise, Corbin McCauley off and running here onto the back straight.
Oh, and we already have a caution. We got cars in the wall. Oh, that's huge for the 23 of Ryan Gibson. And also, that's Kyle Knoll as well. Both drivers that are 30 or more points out below that cut line. Oh, that's a bad start.
Yeah, not ideal. Even before the leaderboard's up, we are yellow.
I don't think I even needed to keep it on because we're going to have to go back to a replay anyways because, wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
So already off to a wonderful start here. So we're going to have to go all the way back and check out what just happened. We'll start it from in the corners right here. And as they head down the back straightaway, Knoll gets a run right there behind Gibson. To the middle lane. They're side by side, and then there's contact. Gibson goes around Knoll in the wall. Thankfully not collecting anyone else. Paytack with a close call right there.
Yeah, that could have easily ended a lot worse than it did. But again, for the two guys who probably need a win more than anybody, nightmare start.
So we'll see on the blimp here. I mean, gonna have to give that maybe one more good look right here.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't see a blatant move on either side, maybe from Noel's dash cam or inside the cockpit.
Or actually, this will work right here.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, just enough of a touch, basically, to send things spinning.
And Noel went, the right front ever so slightly went up there, but then it also kind of seems like Gibson may have gone down a little bit, but again, we're not the type of people to pinpoint or anything like that, so it's both guys involved in that one right there, and an absolute shame again for the guys that, again, on the outside looking in, but it's nothing close to guys like Andy Hurdle and Dylan Baum, because these two right here, they missed the race at Talladega last Tuesday. They pretty much need to win.
Yeah, as I said, this is pretty much a nightmare start as Gibson makes his way out of pit lane here. Now, at least with somewhat of a shot at getting back to the field. It looks like Noel may have a little bit more extensive damage.
So yeah, Noel's still in his pit box. I mean, he was the one that took the harder hits in that incident, so no surprise to see there. Michael Wolford, we noticed that he wasn't pacing with everyone else at the start there, but now he's on track.
Well, that might be early celebrations here for the number 36. It's probably a good time as any to mention happy birthday to one Michael Wolford.
Indeed, a good happy birthday to him, especially, too, trying to continue the momentum back from Talladega last Tuesday after he finished third. And I would say if all the incidents and such, because remember, Magrum was, whenever he was getting to the line, Matthew Patak was rushing fast right behind him, and Wolford was as well. So if there had been just a little bit more time right there, or maybe it was another lap, they could have easily gotten to him right there, and even Wolford would have contended there for the win, but still third place, good for him. And remember, him and Patak were, doing their own little bit of a quote-unquote celebration there while CD Magrum was doing his stuff as well. So I guess there was happiness everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, the results ultimately turned out, short of victory, about as good as they could, but we still got a long way to go here tonight to see who's going to win this one.
Indeed, so we're going to try again here to go green for a full lap. Green flag waving. The North Carolina 250 is back underway here. Corbin McCauley pushing his way out once again, just like he did at the start, already 3/10.
Yeah, that is a heck of a jump off the line there for the 17. I mean, not really a surprise given, this McCauley's nature on the intermediates over the course of this season.
Indeed, so it looks as though everyone's going to be pretty much single file here coming through, although Scott Bailey and Dylan Baum about side by side right there. Indeed. Baum trying to get a bit of a better run right there on the high side, maybe get a better corner exit here off of turn 2. They're still side by side pretty well. They're door banging as well, just a little bit of a tap right there. And it looks as though Bailey is going to ever so slightly edge ahead. And he's going to go under Hurdle right there to go for the 6th position. Hurdle held onto it there at the line. And then McCauley's just doing his good old thing.
Yeah, for now. But obviously, again, we've seen this countless times over the course of this year already.
Indeed. So now Baum trying to get past Hurdle after Bailey was also successful. Seemed like a bit of a slide there along the inside for the 3.
And this is another bubble battle here, of course. Hurdle and Baum both out of the picture as it stands.
Indeed, correct right there. So Baum will dive it in. Oh my goodness, I think Hurdle may have had to go on the brakes there just a little bit to avoid contact.
Yeah, I think Baum might have gotten just a hair loose in the middle of that turn by the looks of it. I thought I saw a little wobble in the rear.
Indeed, so again, Kyle Knoll. I think Knoll's done.
15 is disconnected?
Yeah.
Well, he's not
disconnected.
There. And he did mention that it was a distinct possibility that he wasn't going to go tonight, and he mentioned, that idea that, he didn't want to potentially compromise another driver's race. So maybe there was a look at the repair time and ultimately kind of figuring that out. And maybe that's the writing on the wall for the 15. I'd have to ask him for a little bit more detail, but yeah, that's the first casualty, and that will be the first round of 12 elimination.
Indeed so, which is an absolute shame as well, because we know how fast and consistent Noel was in the first half of the season, but then things just kind of weren't shaping up the same way towards the second half and heading into the playoffs. So very unfortunate, but we do of course send our positive thoughts to him in his recovery.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the effort to even try and get to the green flag tonight is certainly commendable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just unfortunate circumstances there for the 15. And I mean, given what we heard about what was kind of going on there, it was something to do with a leg, I do believe, without getting into too many details. But I mean, rather pivotal to the, operation of a sim racing setup. So ultimately, whether that had any effect on the crash or not, ultimately that was just going to prove uncomfortable for the course of the evening, no doubt.
Indeed. So I believe the 6 of Justin Belmonte may have tapped the wall right there on the outside coming into turn 3 the lap before. But he looks like he's going just fine as Ryan Gibson continues to make his way up after being involved in that lap 1 incident. Up to 14th now. You can see quite the gap there between the two, I guess you could say, quote-unquote, packs in a way right there. There's Paytack in 11th, and then all the way back right there by almost 2 seconds is Mercado leading the way over last week's winner, C.D. Magram. And then back up here, Macaulay's still leading the way by 4/10, now almost half a second. And then bit of a 3-4 car thing going on there between Ireland, Belmonte, Higginbottom, and Ford. And again, those are 2 past Charlotte winners, 2 past champions. Again, as we said in the pre-race show, looking to, be higher above the cut line than they were heading into this race. And so far, it's looking pretty good for them. But again, we still have to consider the green flag pit windows and how it all turns out towards getting stage points whenever we get to lap 45, which will be the white flag for stage 1.
Yeah, and I mean, the other kind of side effect of Kyle Knowles' early DNF here, that gives, Darcy Ford and Ty Higginbotham a little bit more breathing room, knowing there's one less car to contend with as it relates to snagging one of those round of 8 spots.
Indeed. So it looks as though it's remaining, again, relatively single file here as Jason Butler went high up the track in turns 3 and 4 right there, trying to find a way past the 7 of Andy Hurdle. Unable to so far. Matthew Paytack following in behind right there. Butler trying to use that middle lane. And it's actually going to work to his advantage as he's going to go to the high side of Hurdle right here. Great corner exit right there for him. We're going to see how they're going to go through turns 3 and 4, however. Butler up the track a little bit towards that outside wall. They're still going to be side-by-side. Hurdle barely edged ahead for a bit there, but Butler coming back over him. Paytack patiently waiting behind for something.
That's exactly what I was going to get at. That 21 is just lurking right now.
Yeah, that would be the term to use, but they're still going side-by-side.
Yeah, Butler had an edge at the end of the straight, but we'll see what that inside line does or whether the high line is going to serve the 10 better.
There you go. Hurdle's going to clear back in front of him as that's the way it originally was a couple laps back right there. So the number 10 Rampage Coffee Chevrolet dropping in behind the number 7 Doralton Ventures Chevrolet, not Dorito Chevrolet.
I mean, it wouldn't be the worst idea ever.
Oh no, absolutely not. We would be very open to having a sort of livery or scheme like that for sure. Looking the rest of the way, seems as though pretty much everyone else is relatively single file, and then Kyle Nola, of course, out of this race, the first DNF. McCauley still stretching that lead ahead as Palmani up in that middle to high groove right there, going through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like things are relatively settled right now. As you mentioned, single file, a significant chunk of the way through the field. And, maybe they're finally listening to that bingo card space where, I mean, we did see a crash on lap 1, of course. But, everything else, it seems like, there might be a little bit more patience coming into play. Or at least that's what we've seen so far through the opening 20.
I don't know, maybe in that pre-race drivers meeting, I was just like, hey, the World 300 have 15 cautions. Maybe they remembered and they were like, oh.
It still felt like twice as many.
Oh, yeah, no, it definitely felt like more. And hopefully this time around we don't have a car come into the frame out of complete nowhere and then get up and into the air, and then we have a Jordy Jesus.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better way to describe it. Yeah, there's still a lot of time. Yeah. A lot of miles to cover.
To cover up the open space current very quickly right now, might as well go over a quick breakdown for those that may be unfamiliar with this track or don't know it as much. We, of course, visited Charlotte back in June. It's part 2 now. 1.5 miles, 2.4 kilometers long, quad oval in Concord, North Carolina, 13 minutes, miles, or 21 kilometers outside the city of Charlotte. Corners banked at 24 degrees. The track hosts the prestigious Coca-Cola 600 on every Memorial Day weekend. And, of course, we ran our own, the race in June, we ran our own version cut in half. The real-life pattern is the oval in the spring and the roval in the fall. But as we've said multiple times, we are avoiding road courses for the time being just because we want to give these drivers, we want to mix in between, a competitive schedule, but at the same time, we want to be easy on them because, again, it's our first season on iRacing. And I guess to wrap that part up, we have cars on pit road. Or at least one.
Yeah, Ty Higginbotham, one of the resident North Carolinians in the field, it has to be said, back in Asheville now. And yeah, it looks like he's first to pit road, effectively cutting the stage in half here, pitting on lap 23.
So Daniel Cudmore will be the second to come down now as Ty Higginbotham gets a 14.30. And his number 97 Bojangles Toyota.
So fairly standard stop length there for the 97, it has to be said. Decent run here in this first stint. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Indeed, so there's the number 2 right there. One of my personal favorite schemes right there. Sponsoring Darcy Allen, PR, Cudmore Design, and that would be Archie Design as well. Driving for Winston Racing Group, of course. Darcy Ford now on pit road as Cudmore gets a 15.17. It's lap 25 out of 167, lap 25 out of 45, so next time around will be 20 laps to go.
Yeah, interesting to see that first lap caution didn't do anything, it would appear anyway, to alter the strategies of Higginbotham and Ford. At least you'd think maybe there'd be a couple more laps stretched out with I believe it was 4 under caution that we had. But, that's just a couple of outliers so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see, a bigger share of the field coming in the next few laps here.
Indeed, so Macaulay and Ireland's, that gap is shrinking right there on the track now to about 3/10. Just a little bit there. I mean, the best way to put it would be here, you would think Macaulay would be the type of guy to, get away, but there's actually been a lot of races as of recently where there's always some guy, whether it's Ireland or Belmonte or Bailey, they will not let him get away, whether it's it could be up to 2 seconds, but they still don't let him get away as any further than that. So, and there's a couple more cars here on pit road. Jason Butler, Dylan Baum, Jared Ireland, and Scott Bailey now heading down pit road. I wonder if Macaulay might be thinking here that he'll have slightly fresher tires if he comes in maybe this time around or the next time around. We'll have to wait and see as Butler comes out with a 14.50.
So that seems like a standard going rate for the pit stop length based on Ty Higginbotham's 14.3 earlier as well. But interesting to see Macaulay kind of staying out there a little. Did I speak too soon, or did something happen? Belmonte's leading.
Macaulay's on pit road.
Macaulay's
Yeah.
in, yeah.
Yeah, he's in. There he is. So yeah. Ireland and Bailey with 9-second times right there. Huge differences versus a bunch of drivers that are around the 14 to 15.
2 tires, perhaps?
Yeah, yeah, I would say maybe some drivers are going for 4, some are going for 2. Macaulay, none?
Yeah, maybe just fuel. Like, he's had a history, certainly, of, pit stop adjustments not necessarily going his way. But yeah, that car didn't go up at all.
No, it never did. Again, though, too, you could argue that, again, his point gap, it's not a huge deal, but he will still want to finish the race. It might be just a case that he knows that he's fast and he'll be there at the end, at least hopefully. But there's Matthew Patak now on pit road as he's going to go, I believe it was... I think it was...
Yeah, it looks like it was just 2 tires.
Indeed it was, so just 2 tires right there for him. 10-second pit stop. He's just coming off a pit road right there in the turns 1 and 2 apron. Then here's Justin Belmonte leading the way as he's about to lap Corbin Macaulay, as a matter of fact, who's in 10th. You can see some interesting names so far here that have not come down pit road, including Andy Hurdle, Hunter Young, Jose Mercado, there's Marini, Janikowski, Wolford as well. A bunch of cars a lap down, but again, this top 9 here still hasn't come down to pit road just yet here on lap 32 out of 45 in the stage. And maybe Belmonte's now going to come down pit road. So he'll lose the lead to Andy Hurdle, who we just saw in the background there. And, I think Hunter Young may have just tapped the wall there off the corner, so Jose Mercado is going to take advantage and go to the 3rd position.
So one thing I will say about all this, Reegs, I enjoy the different strategies being deployed in this first round of pit stops. It's not predictable across the board. I love it.
Absolutely, and Belmonte not going to go for tires either. He's going to go for just fuel.
Well, 12 laps, he must figure he can hold on to them for at least that long.
Oh, okay, he was in the grass there. It was a weird angle, but he definitely got some lot more time there, and he's still having issues on the apron.
That's one way to lose grip.
Yeah, and through turns 1, 2. Yeah, we were just talking about interesting strategies and some drivers not bothering with tires, and quite literally, we just saw the lack of grip right there going down the apron right there, so definitely interesting to see as C.D. Magram's going to get past Andy Hurdle here for the lead here in this first stage. Magram trying to continue that momentum again from winning at Talladega last Tuesday and also winning the lone Charlotte race last year, which again, that one was also just as long as the race that we had earlier this season. But thankfully this one, once again, is less miles, less laps, but still, it's Charlotte. We have a caution. Darcy Ford's in the wall in turns 3 and 4. He's going to spin it a little bit again right there. Hopefully no one else is going to get into him.
Oh boy.
Again, we were talking about the little strategies and such, and some guys not taking tires. I'm not going to make assumptions, but do keep it in mind.
Absolutely, and I mean, I was just talking about, the fact that we've seen a number of different strategies in play. Oh, there's contact.
Oh, no. So we'll take this angle, and yep, that is clear contact right there into the wall on the rear end. Mercado giving Ford a couple more taps right there, but that is certainly contact, which that is going to be huge for the cut line, because again, Ford at, I believe, he's +5, and then Higginbottom's +4, or is it the other way around?
It's
Ford
might be +6.
Actually,
No, it is 5. You're
yeah,
right. You're
Ford
right.
is 7th, yeah, +5, and then Higginbottom's +4. But that's huge right there. That's a non-playoff driver and a playoff driver colliding right there. We'll get let's do the chopper angle. The blimp's a little bit too far out.
Yeah, and given the history between these two drivers, get me a seat at the local steakhouse because that was a juicy T-bone.
Maybe Ford was the one.
But he's ahead here.
No, that was Ford.
So kind of self-inflicted in a way.
Yeah, Mercado held his line, then Ford ever so slightly came down. At least that's our angle. Again, drivers have different perspectives, different views, so who knows? But
sober second thought is also a wonderful thing.
Yes. But yeah, that definitely an interesting situation right there. Not ideal for Ford again being only +5 over the cut line when there's another driver +4, and then there are other drivers that are just below the cut line in Andy Hurdle, and there's the 3 there on the screen in Dylan Baum.
But you know what this late caution does? It saves those guys who stayed out longer.
Indeed, and the pit stop times unfortunately are only for live, so we'll just take a look at the car. We'll just take a look at the cars and judge from our views right here. This could be a perfect opportunity for some guys to maybe take advantage on this restart with tires. Is
that Ford in again? Sure is.
So a couple guys actually going for 4 tires. Ryan Gibson I can see as one of them. McCauley coming in for a second time there as well. I wonder if he's going to go for 4. He will. So there are a couple guys here that are going to make it interesting on this restart because, again, it is going to be, I would imagine when we take the green, it'll be a 6-lap shootout to solve the first stage. So things could really ramp up, and that's Jason Butler there on pit road. But Jared Ireland leading the way. There's Dylan Baum right there in second. Definitely a prime position to be in, knowing that stage points are absolutely integral, especially with his position currently in the playoff standings being in 10th at -6. Again, it's +5, +4, -4, and -6. So that's 4 guys right there that are in a range where if anything happens to any of them, they are likely done.
Yeah, and there's still a long way to go, but a sneaky 3 points there for Ryan Gibson if he holds on to his current 8th place. Still getting a huge gap for him to make up. He's 38 out as it stands, and the guy in 8th is ahead of him.
Indeed. So while we are under this caution period still, there's a little bit of a fun thing that thanks to Corbin McCauley... Okay, we need a better angle than that. We're literally going through buildings in the infield.
Yay, grandstands.
Yeah. But thanks to Corbin McCauley, who always, he's the creator of the ticker files and, these ticker graphics that you see here on the screen. He took months to create it, so we're absolutely grateful for him to, help give the broadcast, a professional look here on our first season on iRacing. But it's a little bit of a nice thing that he was able to add in sometime here before tonight's race on the ticker.
Hey!
Car make. You got the car makes.
There we go.
So this will be a nice little addition here. Maybe, let's say, if we're on the long runs or something and we want to, check out the parity, the diversity between everyone's manufacturers and such. So by the looks of it right here, Chevy has got a huge advantage so far with 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be 7 of them there. And then the other 3, you got 2 Toyotas and 1 Ford. So Chevy has the biggest advantage out of all the drivers here in the field tonight. There's a couple Fords, couple Toyotas. That'd be 4 Fords, and then I believe only 3 Toyotas. So yeah, Chevy is just, it's popular.
Well, notably, there's a Toyota who's already retired as well.
Exactly, too. So that would make it 4 right there. So 4 and 4 for the Toyotas and the Fords, and then all the Chevys are the rest of the cars. But we're going to see a Chevrolet and a Toyota here on the front row to get this first stage back under green. It'll be 6 laps go to the end. Oh, big trouble for Ireland. Hard to the outside wall. Hunter Young also going to go around. He's going to keep his car straight. That was a very wonky start.
That's not a Jesus. That is a what the hell was that?
I am completely flabbergasted by what just happened right there. We both are.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We're going to definitely take a look at that one again. I'm going to use the... Let's get the chopper angle a shot here.
Get to the chopper.
Oh my God.
That self-inflicted.
Definitely self-inflicted, and then Hunter Young getting collected in that one as well. Just a panic? Would you even use that term?
I don't know how you can panic from pole necessarily, but unless you're referring to Young.
No, that's what I mean, Young, yeah.
Yeah, this is just baffling here. Like,
okay, well, he did start. Again, he started on the first gear, and he completely on the accelerator, and then shifts it up, and then boom.
Yeah,
so,
on a scale of 1 to Jason Butler's cat, that was pretty strange.
Yeah, that's probably one of our weirdest moments that we've ever had here in the Canadian Motorsports Network and the NASCAR series, especially here for our first season on iRacing. We'll get one more final look right here, as we're very lucky this wasn't any bigger, because quite literally Ireland, this was right in front of that was right in front of the whole field.
Good Lord. Yeah, that is...
And they threw the caution immediately.
I was about to say Ireland's eyes weren't smiling on that, but for where he was for that to happen, that could have been so much worse.
Indeed, it could have been.
So are we looking at a one-lap shootout now based on, maybe 4 caution laps?
Well, knowing lap 45 is the white flag, and then in the automatic program I'm using, lap 46 is when the caution comes out whenever 10th comes across. So
2, I guess.
By the looks of it, I would say it might be a 3-lap shootout, actually.
Yeah, was it 39 or 40 where we attempted a restart?
It was 6 laps to go. It was on 40, so it might be a 3-lap shootout unless they decide to take another lap around where it's 2. So, again, though, if it's 2 laps, that's a lot less time, and that's going to make these drivers get a little bit hectic here. So 3 laps might be a little bit more, quote-unquote, easy going, but that's still a low number. But I mean, hey, a 3-lap shootout with the number 3 up front, so...
Yeah, it could be...
No, the lights are still on.
It's going to be an interesting development, that's for sure.
The lights are still on the pace car, so it might be... It looks like it'll probably be a 2-lap shootout to the end.
Well, yeah, the earliest the restart will happen at this point will be 44.
So Jared Ireland, after that incident coming down pit road here, I wonder if that might be... Yeah, that's a second time, so I wonder if that might be either relating to damage or maybe a penalty. But either way, not ideal for the number 13, who again isn't... Well, I mean, plus 26 is a lot better than plus 5 and plus 4, but that's still absolutely not an ideal spot to be in, so he'll want to try and make his way back up to the front by the end, which again, there's still plenty of time, but at the same time too, these races fly by pretty quickly. He's not one bit guaranteed or safe, but again, that's still better than a lot of other drivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty comfortable right now, it has to be said, certainly, coming off of the 12th place finish last week, but again, he did add 12 stage points on top of that too, so it kind of filled out the total a little bit, and of course the couple late season victories put him in a decent spot to begin with. But yeah, he'd love to be a little bit higher up the board, and that particular incident, goes without saying, did not help.
And again, depending on how the rest of his race goes and how this race ends, that could be a complete understatement, but the lights on the pace car are off. Everyone doubling up right here. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout to solve this first stage. And again, with there's drivers up here that are going to want as many points as possible. And I mean, even guys that are, like they could be, let's say, 25 or more points above, which we know who they are, they're still going to want to get some good points, which will also be integral heading into the next round. Because again, the round of 8, that's only 8 drivers. And knowing how competitive the front half of this field is, that's why I keep saying I am terrified for the next round. Because I mean, Las Vegas and Auto Club, it's 2 big tracks. Thankfully, it's not short tracks or road courses or super speedways. But the big tracks have still given us quite the racing product, to say the least. We remember Las Vegas and Auto Club earlier in the season, and both of those races did give us some really good racing, especially on the short runs, on the restarts. So, again, I'm looking at guys like, Dylan Baum, Ty Higginbottom, Andy Hurdle as well. There's some guys above and below, just barely. It's, whew.
Hey, here we go.
Indeed, here we go. So hopefully they'll be able to get this start, make it smoother. And indeed, it looks like as Dylan Baum's going to get a huge jump on the restart. It'll be 2 laps to go in the first stage of this the North Carolina 250. Oh no, there's contact right there as they were 3 wide. I wonder if that might be a case of potential tire wear right there, because again, some drivers, there was a little bit of a fiasco there with that late caution. Still contact up ahead between C.D. Mangrum and Andy Hurdle. McCauley going to try dive low here through the middle. There's the white flag for the first stage. Dylan Baum leading the way. This is going to be huge for him, and also for Ty Higginbottom as well, who's going to try and gain that extra stage point on Scott Bailey. It's going to come down to the wire for that second spot.
But more importantly, in Higginbotham's case, a little bit more breathing room.
Andy Hurdle as well, too, trying to gain an extra point as well over Ryan Gibson. It looks like, he's going to slide up a little bit there, but coming off the final corner, Dylan Baum is going to take the green checker flag to win the first stage. And look at the rest of the order here as the caution comes out. And that does it for the first stage. How about that for the number 3 of Dylan Baum being
massive.
-6 below the cut line? That's going to be massive for him with these 10 stage points, and I would imagine as well that 1 extra playoff point as well.
All right, I've got the YouTube stream paused at the point of caution, so I can get you some numbers.
All right, then, so for the viewers here, we will get the finishing results here. That'd be Baum, Bailey, Higginbottom, Hurdle, Gibson, McCauley, Paytack. I'll do it one more time here just very quickly. Looks as though Wolfert's going to get 8th. Mangrum again with that issue coming off the corner. He's going to fall back behind Belmonte. So Mangrum's still going to get a stage point, but it's going to be 2 less than where he initially was. So again, Baum finishing 1st. Bailey and Higginbottom running at the podium. Andy Hurdle 4th. Ryan Gibson 5th. Corbin McCauley 6th. Matthew Paytack 7th. Michael Wolfert 8th. Justin Belmonte 9th. And rounding at the top 10 is C.D. Mangrum once again, Tom Janikowski, Daniel Cudmore, Mike Marini, Jose Mercado, Hunter Young. I don't know if I would say huge just yet, but definitely an interesting situation with Jared Ireland, of course, being back here in 16th. Knowing, again, he is plus 26, at least he was heading into this race, but again, we've said multiple times not to save. And Darcy Ford 1 lap down in 17th, him being only plus 5 over the cut line. Meanwhile, there's, again, Ty Higginbottom and Dylan Baum both getting great finishes. Andy Hurdle as well. Not ideal for the 2021 champion and also a previous Charlotte winner. Oh, are you reacting to the points?
We have some movement.
Oh, goodness. And there's Darcy Ford getting the lucky dog right there, which, yeah, he will definitely look to be lucky for the remainder of this race. Hey, I followed in your pattern. There's always something that you can follow along with almost perfectly there. But, Jordy, what do we have?
All right, so obviously, C.D. Mangrum being through, that's a given. Corbin McCauley with his 5 stage points for finishing in 6th. That will, with a 54-point gap right now, he's now officially qualified for the round of 8 at this point. Scott Bailey, he's got a 33-point gap on 3,074 points. Second place in Stage 1 will help that. Justin Belmonte up to a 22-point gap now in 4th. Matthew Paytak rounds out the top 5. He's plus 21 right now. Jared Ireland does slide a spot, and that gap does get a little smaller. It's down to 19 now between Ireland and the drop zone. And then you get Ty Higginbotham with his 3rd place finish in the stage. He's plus 5 right now. The bubble's where it gets real interesting because stage win, Dylan Baum has pulled himself out of the elimination zone. He is 1 point up on Andy Hurdle right now. And 3 up on Darcy Ford, Hurdle being the first guy in the elimination zone right now. Hurdle -1, Ford -3. Kyle Knoll, of course, with the early retirement, he's officially 12th right now. Ryan Gibson up to 3,006 points with that 5th place finish in the stage. He's still got a 36-point gap. Unfortunately for him, a lot of drivers around him, they got the big points. So Gibby's got a long way to go here. But again, 1 point separating 8th and 9th.
Oh. So yeah, again too. That's a stinger for Darcy Ford, knowing again he's a big name here in the Canadian Motorsports Network and the NASCAR, especially the NASCAR series. Again, 2021 champion, previous winner at Charlotte. On NASCAR E5, absolutely successful. But then here on iRacing, it's been up and down. He's had his momentum. He's had his good streaks. But man, it's not looking good for him right now. But again, though, we're saying right now because we still have 2 more stages to complete. We still have plenty of time until we get to the end of this one, which, again, knowing how the World 300 went, who the heck knows how long this one could take. We'll hopefully say shorter, but...
Well, 50 miles less, it better be shorter.
Yeah, exactly, but race summary so far, 4 cautions, 12 laps under caution. We're still 11 away from tying the World 300. Please don't. 6 lead changes, 6 different leaders. Jared Ireland, though, even though that incident did happen on that restart, he still has the fastest time with a 30.5 on lap 32 at an average, I would assume that's average speed of 171 miles per hour. And if we look at the weather tab as well, 30 degrees Celsius air temperature, it's been a cloudy race so far. 34 degrees Celsius track temperature, just under 50% humidity, and we don't really care about the wind because I don't think that really affects this anyways, unless Corbin McCauley knows a lot more than me, so maybe he'll banter me about not knowing something about racing.
It would depend on how the track is laid out there, because in certain sections with that westerly wind, it'll be a little bit of a headwind, and that makes it maybe a little bit difficult or more difficult to generate speed. And then if it's in a tailwind, that'll give you that little bit extra, that little boost, what have you. And we'll see who gets the boost here off of this restart. With Ireland leading?
So yeah, the wind does affect the cars, but I'm not a complete expert on that. Maybe you are. But anyways, we'll get back to this. Anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, yes, you were saying Jared Ireland somehow leading.
Not anymore, but he was.
Well, he was, yeah. Somehow up here, we'll put it that way. Whoa, Ryan Gibson having a moment there. He takes a bit of a hop through the grass on the front stretch. He's able to keep his car straight, though. That's what matters the most, as he falls back to 8th. Now side by side with Jose Mercado.
North Carolina's supposed to be Tobacco Road. I didn't think Gibby was going to get in the grass that fast.
Oh, come on.
Come on, it was right there.
Got some pack racing right here. It's Gibson, Magram, Ford. Darcy Ford making his way back up after being the lucky dog, of course. And, of course, him getting past Jose Mercado, which is definitely a sigh of relief knowing what happened earlier, although we did say it was self-inflicted. But anyways, we'll move on. Macaulay leading the way by about half a second here over Ireland. Dylan Baum continuing his solid run here in third place, and also as well Andy Hurl and Ty Higginbotham. Yeah, again, that's three guys up here who, they're right there on that bubble. And then you got Gibson, who is all the way down below the cut line. And then there's Darcy Ford, who is eyeing the heck out of those three drivers ahead of him, looking to find somewhat of a miracle. There are other drivers that definitely are getting a miracle, but him, on the other hand, he is close, but, he'll be praying for something. And I'm seeing back here as well Tom Janikowski trying to continue that momentum again back from Talladega, of course, in getting that fourth place finish at the best run of his career by far, I would imagine.
Yes.
Indeed. Where am I at right here? Now, Janikowski doesn't have any sponsors making sure there, but he's running a nice number 93 red, white, and black Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Yes, that is.
Get the manufacturers on the board.
There we go.
There you go. That's why we have it.
Indeed, so we got Chevrolets dominating the top two right here. Is that number 17 Holland College Oysterbed Speedway Chevrolet of Corbin McCauley is now ahead by almost a second here. Jared Ireland really finding a resurgence after having that wonky incident on that restart in stage one. And then there's Dylan Baum and Ty Higginbotham are up here trying to spoil the Chevy party with their Toyotas. The number 3 SimLeaguePro.com yellow and blue Toyota. Very nice scheme right there, battling side by side with fellow rookie Jared Ireland right here down the front straightaway. It looks as though he will, I think, barely take second at the line right there. Not the greatest angle, of course. Andy Hurdle following in quickly behind. A really good run for him as well. We know he has the raw speed on the bigger tracks. It's just a matter of if the luck's on his side. Oh, and would you look at this? Ty Higginbotham starting to fall back. That's going to be huge here for Darcy Ford, who will gain another spot right there ahead of him in 6th.
Well, I mean, looking at this board, like 4, 5, and 6, that's all drivers who are outside the playoff picture right now. And second is the guy who's on the bubble that those 3 drivers are chasing.
Indeed, so it's those 3 cars in the close proximity here. And then up here, kind of 2 cars following behind there, and then there's Baum, and then kind of an average gap between about 0.8 to a second. More towards the back right here as it does remain relatively single. Nope, I was going to say single file, but that was completely wrong. We have double file action going on right here as Jason Butler is trying to make his way up towards the top 10, although, I mean, that's like 3 seconds in between 10th and 11th, but still trying to find a run there somehow as Scott Bailey is just outside right there at 11th. Jason Butler always going to get a really good run there in the middle of the high groove around turns 1 and 2. He's going to try and get past Scott Bailey. He will clear the way for 11th, so the 10 car up to 11th right there. Bailey dropping back to, no, actually Butler's a lap down. He's just making his way up for whatever reason, so completely ignore everything I just said right there. That's rough.
There was an attempt.
I tried. I am blind as heck.
Well, I mean, it was still a good call regardless.
Yeah, Butler just reminding me right there, even though I just made the correction anyways.
Yeah, it was a great call if you ignore the facts, which, I mean, a lot of people do these days.
Yeah, sure. And it reminds me back at Kansas whenever we saw him absolutely surge ahead of the field at Kansas. And then the tires did not, it kind of wore at the tires a little bit too much, and then he completely fell back. So, there's rough stuff with him, and then there's rough stuff here, what just happened with me, so, ouch.
Yeah, the old yellow brick road wasn't too kind to Jason Butler's tires a couple of weeks back. Absolutely
not, as we see Tom Janikowski, I believe, just made his way up over Jose Mercado, not literally. Hopefully Mike Marini doesn't take that literally like we saw back at the World 300.
Hey, I mean, keep all four wheels on the track. You got yourself a shot.
Indeed. So, I mean, quite literally, C.D. Magrum has felt it there as well. I mean, yes, he did win back at Talladega last Tuesday, but he did get up in the air right there back at Atlanta, where he was leading coming to the white flag, where, again, that could have been, last Tuesday could have been his second Super Speedway win of the season. But no, good old Atlanta. We know what happened. Most of us do. And
Things, yes.
yes. As we're getting some good action right here as Ryan Gibson and Darcy Ford have caught their way up to Andy Hurdle and Jared Ireland. Up here for, that's 4th through 6th, or 3rd through 6th, sorry. Yeah, 3 through 6, and then Ty Higginbottom lurking behind along with C.D. Magrum there as well. The gap right here for the leaders in between McCauley and Baum has ever so slightly shrinked. But yeah, Jared Ireland falling back to 3rd right here. Dylan Baum really, man, he knows that he's got to take advantage of every little opportunity there is, and he really is right here with an incredible surge, running in 2nd right now, trying to catch up to the 4th-year driver. That's a 4th-year driver again versus a rookie. We know Baum's fast, but we also know he can be an aggressive driver, so again, it's just a matter of patience and survival with him. I mean, we remember how the World 300 went. I don't think I'm going to go any further than that.
Yeah, and I mean, with it being, McCauley and Baum on track here, you only have to look back 1 week, because those two, along with Ty Higginbotham, they got caught up in that incident late at Talladega. So it's not like, there was no malice or anything like that. All three were trying to make a move to get up to the lead group. But in saying that, there is a little bit of precedence there for things to happen when those two cars get together.
Indeed so. So lap 66 of 167 here, and I would imagine coming this time around it'll be, according to the math, I think it'll be 23 laps to go in the 2nd stage of the North Carolina 250 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And potentially the start of the next green flag window, or at least around somewhere in the 68 to 70 range. I mean, that other number's nice too, but I think that's probably, we could be looking at that here in the next few laps, so keep an eye on pit lane to see what's going to go down.
And also keep an eye out right here on this battle going on as Darcy Ford and Andy Hurdle battle for the 4th spot. And indeed, that's going to go to Ford. So Ford really surging up here as, again, Ty Higginbottom, or Andy Hurdle, battling with C.D. Magrum. It looks as though there's a little bit of contact there on the left rear quarter panel up to 7. Magrum trying to, I guess we could call it side drafting right there, but both cars keeping it going. That number 1 A1 Grassroots Chevrolet not trying to mess around here. He knows that he's into the next round, but he still wants to fight for spots here. There's still contact with the 7.
That's a squeeze.
And that's going to make Hurdle drop back in behind. So, again, that's Andy Hurdle and Ty Higginbottom dropping back right here, while Darcy Ford really trying to fight adversity from the first stage and make his way up right here, even try to get into 3rd place ahead of Jared Ireland. Seeing back here Scott Bailey and Matthew Paytak going out here for the 13th spot. Bailey's going to get ahead. As we see Andy Hurdle coming down pit road. He'll be the first one under this green flag pit window in the middle of the 2nd stage.
Yeah, kind of figured it would be right around there. Darcy Ford was the first pit stop on lap 23, if I recall, in stage number 1. So that's, again, kind of splitting the stage in half here effectively.
So we'll see what Hurdle's going to take on. It looks like the right side tires. Will he do the left? Yes, he will. He's going to go for 4 tires and fuel on that one. I thought I saw coming off turn 4 there, Ryan Gibson having a little bit of a moment there. But looks like he's all good and just fine. So again, that's Andy Hurdle so far, the only taker here on pit road thus far.
Yeah, the stints were definitely stretched out a little bit last time around. Again, with that lap 1 caution certainly playing a factor in that. Obviously, a little bit of early conservation allowed for, a little bit of a stretching in the stints. But I wouldn't be surprised if for all the different strategies we saw in stage 1, things might be a little more uniform this time around. We'll just have to wait and see.
Indeed. So did I just see a little bit of smoke or something like that? Maybe something may have just happened with the 93. Oh yeah, he definitely popped the wall right there heading down the back straightaway. Now he's going to come down pit road. CD Magram as well.
Oh, did he? Yeah, there was smoke there. I would say, I wonder if there was contact there actually, because he was coming in really wide.
Ooh, he barely got through there. That could have been a collision with the barrels, which you go through them in this game and you get the wall, which is, that's different from real life. Definitely not ideal. As Jared Ireland and Darcy Ford are going to head down pit road as well. Looks like Magram's going to go for 4 tires by the looks of it. Janikowski, I think, as well.
Yeah, looks fairly standard from those two.
So that's 4 cars now, 1 lap down. So Ireland and Ford again. Pit box to pit box right there, right beside each other. Ford going to go for the right sides. Ireland's going to go for no tires. Interesting call right there. Darcy Ford is going to go for the 4 tires, as now Corbin McCauley's going to come down pit road.
Yeah, very interesting call from Jared Ireland there. Really the first kind of outlier strategy here. The majority have taken, the 4 tires and fuel to not really chance anything. I wonder if Ireland is maybe banking on another late caution here, because that could be very sketchy.
So 4 tires for the 17 right there in comparison to whenever he got none in the first stage. As Dylan Baum's now going to come down pit road, so Ty Higginbottom will take the lead. Okay, yeah, that was 4 tires there. Just had to make sure with McCauley.
I think Baum may have only taken 2. Look at that, 8.1 seconds.
No, it looks like 4. It looks like it'll be... Or no, it is. Yeah, just the left sides for Dylan Baum right there. That definitely didn't look very professional the way I just did the controls right there, but who cares? So yeah, Baum going for left sides only. So there's guys that have been doing right sides, left sides, no tires, 4 tires. Everyone obviously getting fuel, but there's been a lot of interesting strategies so far when it comes to tires. Right now, Ty Higginbottom leading the way with Ryan Gibson 3 seconds back. There's a bit of a pack going on right here between a couple of guys. That's Belmonte, Young, Bailey, Paytack. That'd be Daniel Cudmore in there as well. Jose Mercado currently 3rd. Yeah, there's the pack right there. That's about 4th through 9th, actually. There's also Mike Marini. Wolford all the way back here, exiting off of turn 4. Butler now comes down pit road. Still 1 lap down. Looks like he'll probably go to 2, I would imagine, here after this pit stop. Let's see what he goes for. He's going to go for the right sides. Will he go for the left? He does not. So 9.80 seconds right there for him.
Yeah, still a slightly longer stop than we've seen from the other kind of 2 tire takers to this point. I wonder if maybe there was something else going on, maybe just a little bit more fuel than the others.
Indeed. So Higginbottom stretching the gap over Gibson right now, although I would imagine most of these guys, be about the top 10 that'll still have to come down pit road. Baum and McCauley still have yet to be lapped here, as Higginbottom still catching up to them. As I wonder if Hunter Young might have just had an issue right there as he's starting to fall back. He was initially, I think, ahead of Bailey. So I'm going to take a quick look to see what may have happened here as...
Yeah, there's a tap.
There we go. I was told earlier that there is an issue. Of course, there is we have the car make added into this ticker. But there is a glitch, and I just had it happen there, so thankfully Thankfully there is, a resolve. We were able to figure that out, thankfully, before the race. So, all good right there. I was wondering if there'd be any point where I would... oh, my goodness! Young and Butler getting really close right there off of turn 4's Young head down pit road. I don't, now because of that, I don't remember what I was ending off and saying right there before that. But anyways, that doesn't matter anymore. This is what does. As Ty Higginbottom also comes down pit road. But man, we got to check out what just happened right there. Oh, jeez. Yikes. We got to get the chopper angle of this one right here.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe there was kind of a... Well, there's indecision, certainly. There was contact, no doubt.
And Young ever so slightly tapped the pit wall right there as well, so I imagine Butler might not be happy about that one.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe a bit of a late dive down to pit lane, and I mean, that's an eventful lap for Hunter Young as well, as we see Ryan Gibson in pit lane, because if you recall, as you were sorting out your glitch, we were coming off the heels of Hunter Young actually tapping the wall coming through the start-finish straight. Or a start-finish section, I suppose.
Yes, somewhere in that realm, but
yeah.
Anyways, we still have a bunch of cars that still have yet to come down pit road, but we have got a pack going at it right here between what looks to be first and sixth. As Jose Mercado is having some issues here as he drops back from what was about, I think, third. He's now in fifth. But Justin Belmonte leading the way as Scott Bailey is quickly approaching from behind by about a tenth.
I wonder if maybe there's a little bit of tire whispering happening with that 88, because he's been known to kind of fool the field. Oh, I thought there was contact there. I didn't see the third car in the middle. But Bailey, he's figured out ways to not make that stop in stages in the past. I wonder if maybe that is in play here, both for him and Matthew Patak, it has to be said.
Now remember, too, Macaulay pitted for 4 tires, and he's in 6th, and he is surging ahead of Mercado and Marini here, and he'll definitely be making his way up to the top guys right here. You'll see in the angle here, look at that 17, he's coming fast, and look at this, we're going to get a side-by-side battle for the lead here. Scott Bailey's going to try and get past Belmonte for the lead. He's going to clear him in the middle groove. And
not even close.
So...
Holy shnikes, look at Macaulay up into second.
Yeah, the 17 is really gaining on those 4 fresh Goodyear tires, as Patak and Belmonte are going to get side-by-side for the 3rd position.
Yeah, this is no contest here at this point.
Yeah, and there he goes. The 17 and the 88 have definitely seen each other many times with finishes and just races altogether this season, but in this case, it's Macaulay with the completely fresher tires as a bunch of guys, now behind him, haven't come down pit road just yet. But that 17, perfect strategy out of him here as the second stage winds down. We'll be coming to 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, I think that other group, I would have to say they were going for it. But, yeah, ultimately just fell a couple laps short, it would appear, in terms of the tire wear and just being able to kind of maximize things as Belmonte finally comes in.
So Belmonte does come down pit road as Higginbottom and Hurdle are going at it here again. 2 drivers right on the bubble right there. Hurdle's going to get past for the 10%. Oh, my goodness, this is for the final stage point.
Yeah, Hurdle just on the hammer there. Hey, maybe even giving him a little bit of a bump there as they were coming through. More of a love tap than anything.
So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on this one right here as Jose Mercado completely continues to drop back through the field now to 11. So actually that's going to put both these guys into the stage point realm. So actually that... we thought we were going to get a good battle right there, but no, Jose Mercado completely let them go right there. As coming off turn 4 here, this is going to be the white flag for the second stage. The number 17, clear as day, miles ahead. He'll be, or something like that. Yeah, 3 seconds ahead now of Scott Bailey. And he's just going to surge right here to the Stage 2 victory. As again, you already said at the end of the first stage, he already locked himself into the round of 8 points-wise. But I mean, hey, if that wasn't going to be the case, this certainly was going to be the case. So coming off the final corner, the 17 will take the green checkered flag and win the second stage, as Scott Bailey will take second, Matthew Patak third, C.D. Magram in fourth, and Ford is barely going to be bombed to the line. Marini is going to get 7th, Ireland 8th, Andy Hurdle will get 9th, and Ty Higginbottom will get that final stage point as the automatic caution comes out. And there you have it for the second stage. The number 17 completely destroying the field in that one.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, that's about as, well, last few laps especially, as things kind of evened out, that was about as, a dominant a finish as you're going to see. 5.5 seconds or 5 seconds, somewhere in that ballpark.
About that.
That's, 5.66 is what I've got when the caution was thrown, but obviously, some speed would have changed in that time. Speaking of changes, let's see what else we've got here.
Indeed so. Again, Ford got 5th, Baum 6th. Ireland got 7th there. Hurdle got 8th. Higginbottom 9th. So all those guys right on the bubble all managed to get stage points, but it's going to be a matter of, again, those little extra points right there between all 4 of them. And again, too, it does make me wonder if we're going to somehow end up, at any point, we're going to have a damn tie.
Well, if what I'm seeing is correct, and I can't say that it is yet, but knowing that our... no, never mind there. Just disregard my thought process. Just wait until the math comes.
Patience. These drivers have to deal with it here tonight. You as well, man.
Yep. Okay, let's just see what we've got here. So, we had Ford in 5th, which again is very relevant to where we are right now.
Looks like most cars are going to go for 4 tires here under the caution. McCauley leading the way with that 14.62 second pit stop. Brian Gibson actually there's all the most lap cars here. Daniel Cudmore, not though. Maybe it was him. I guess maybe it was him and Gibson that didn't bother. Yeah, Gibson definitely didn't bother to come down pit road. He stayed out. He's in first place as everyone else begins to catch up here. So, lap 93 of 167. So, yeah, 10 laps or so, around 10 laps past the halfway point of the North Carolina 250. Jordy, so far with how this race has gone, as there's a bunch of other cars going down pit road, who would you say are maybe 2 or 3 guys that, we usually do the keep an eye on segment or whatever in the pre-race show, but, are there drivers in here where, it's keep an eye on, they've been impressing you thus far, maybe some guys that you didn't, not as much expectations for, per se, like they've surprised you so far, or are there some guys that have maybe disappointed you in a way? Where's your mind at with that?
I don't know about surprise necessarily, but in terms of getting the job done when he needed to, I have to look immediately to Dylan Baum, of course, with the stage win to pull himself out of, that drop zone, so to speak. And if he does happen to make it to the round of 8, that gives him a bonus point on top of that, let's not forget. And then throwing on another 5 points for finishing 6th in stage 2, that's a guy who's done what he's needed to do here in order to give himself a fighting chance here. And really, Ryan Gibson would have been in that boat as well. Obviously a little bit further back after, not competing last week. Finished 5th in stage 1, outside the points here in stage 2. So he's very much a must win at this point. Really, basically my focus has been kind of on that bubble here so far, and it's not like, the guys around it have been doing a bad job, because Higginbotham, Ford, Hurdle, they've all had stage points, and of course, Baum right on top of that. They're all just jockeying 7 through 10. It's super tight, which is probably a good time for me to give that real-time update, no?
No, you go ahead. I mean, they're going double file, but I'd say by the time we get back green, you'll be done.
I just needed to take a breath. So we will go ahead and do that. Obviously, Mangum and McCauley officially in at this point. Scott Bailey, he's, I would say, essentially automatic now. 38-point gap at this point in third. Matthew Paytak moving up to fourth. He's plus 25 as it stands. Jared Ireland with 4 points in stage 2 there. He maintains the 19-point gap. Justin Belmonte, he, falls down a little bit. He's got an 18-point gap, but 7 through 10, I told you this is where it's getting spicy. It is absolutely that here. Ty Higginbotham is 7th right now. Dylan Baum, 8th. They're both plus 2 as it relates to the cut line. Darcy Ford is currently minus 2 in 9th. Andy Hurdle, minus 4. So 4 points, separating 7 through 10 right now. And then we have Kyle Knoll with the early retirement. And Ryan Gibson absolutely in a must-win. It all comes down to this in tonight's race. Take us back to green.
Indeed. So the third and final stage is underway. Green flag waves. The North Carolina 250 is back under green here. One final time here in the round of 12. And again, as you were saying about that playoff bubble, Jordy, man, I think we've said tight too many times. We need to find a new term. We might not even be able to.
I mean, if there's no better way to talk about it, I'd say just roll with it.
Basically. Thought we were about to get some 3-wide action going on right there, but no, that is not the case, thankfully. But most cars getting single file right here as McCauley leads the way by 4/10. Some close action right here as Ty Higginbotham squeezes under Darcy Ford for the 7th spot. Janikowski gets loose off the corner. He's going to save it down the back straightaway, keep his car straight, but that's going to cause him to fall back to 15th. And thank you very much there for that bubble update so I can stay updated myself because my memory absolutely sucks with talking. But Mangum is going to get past Scott Bailey here for the 2nd position. So he's looking to go back-to-back again after winning last Tuesday at Talladega. And you could technically say back-to-back because he won at Charlotte last year. Obviously, we've run 2 races at Charlotte this year, but it's however way you want to put it. I guess technically it wouldn't be back-to-back because this isn't the World 300. Last year it was. So however way you want to put it, he's continuing that momentum right there as still a lot of close action here from about 3rd onward.
Yeah, and again, just looking at the kind of bubble positioning right now, again, Baum, Higginbotham, Ford, and Hurdle, the 4 that we're really focused on here. Baum doing his job. He's 2 points up here on that bubble, and that would give him a little bit more insurance as it relates to Darcy Ford and Andy Hurdle, both of whom will need to make some moves here, or if you want, and this may well be teeing things up, they've got to crank things up here.
Indeed. So as we're getting some double file action right there, I might want to wait just a little bit right here just in case, because this right here, there's a bunch of bubbled guys all together. That's Baum, and then Higginbotham, Hurdle, and Ford are all there 7 through 9. Then Baum's up in 5th, so I guess we might as well try to get it done now and hopefully not jinx anything. But we'd like to thank TrackCams22.com for providing the custom cameras that you see here for every race in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series for our first season on iRacing, Season 4, now here in the Earl Ross Cup playoffs. So as they keep jostling back and forth for positions here, let's send it down to the cars and hear them firing it around this 1.5-mile track here, Charlotte Motor Speedway. The TrackCams22.com, crank it up. Here we go. So, of course, that was the TrackHams22.com. I realized that whole time there was a mute there, but anyways, we are officially back, so we'd like to thank TrackHams22.com for providing these custom cameras that really help to enhance and emphasize these broadcasts that we do, these live broadcasts that we do here in the Canadian eMotorsports Network and the NASCAR series here for our first season on iRacing, Season 4, the 2023 Earl Ross Cup Playoffs, 4th annual in our history, of course. And we will be using their cameras once more when we get to the Dart American Open Wheel Series after this season. And also coming up as well, we have the Oysterbed Speedway 250, another one of our special events. We ran one back on the Daytona Road Course. I believe it was with GT3 cars. Indeed, it was a couple months back. But yes, the Oysterbed Speedway 250. We have a bunch of Spotlight celebrity drivers that will be participating, including a lot of superstars across the Maritimes, including, guys from the Super Late Model Series, the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour, the Maritime League of Legends, guys that have raced in the NASCAR Pinty Series. So you will not want to miss that one on September. What date is it again? Do you know?
19th.
Yeah, 19th it was. I had that in my mind, but I wanted to make sure, so thank you very much there. Do you also know the date for the Dart Series when it starts?
I want to say, I don't have it right offhand.
Okay, no, I think I have it right here. Yeah, October 3rd.
Okay, well, that's about a week off from what I was going to say, so thank you for getting that.
Indeed. So, yeah, we're returning back to American Open Wheel Racing, and then we also have that special event, Late Model Stock Race. Yes, Late Model Stocks at South Boston Speedway. That's what's going to be 250 laps, of course. We'd like to thank Oysterbed Speedway. Well, actually, I guess technically you could thank me because, I'm the social media guy for Oysterbed Speedway, so quite literally I was able to get them in on the deal. So they'll be providing prize money and also some merchandise as well for the race winner, of course. So, again, we like to, I guess you could thank me, but thank Oysterbed Speedway for hopping along and, really helping us to market ourselves and get ourselves out there. Give us the spotlight because we're really looking to market out there and get more drivers to join in for these special events, as we'll hopefully try to do some more short track racing, obviously for the American Open Wheel Dart Series, and also as well when we get to Season 5 of the NASCAR Series, when we'll be doing our second run on iRacing, which will no doubt be, I would hopefully say, a lot more competitive than what we have right now, but we still got to focus on what we have right now, as I'm pretty sure that entire time we just missed CD Magrum passing Corbin McCauley for the race lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to talk about, close racing, I won't spoil anything just yet, but a couple minutes ago, I was trying to do kind of live points as they run right this second as it relates to the 4 bubble guys. At one point, those 4 drivers were separated by 1 point.
Oh, gosh.
3 of them were tied, and then 1 was 1 point back. A little bit more separation now with Darcy Ford going up the board a little bit into 4th. But, yeah, things are going to get very interesting here.
Should also shout out our other sponsors. I'm surprised I forgot to do that along with TrackHams22.com. Holland Hurricanes, Kyle's Fried Chicken, Rampage Coffee Co., Wing Snob, and GTR. Thank you to all of them for supporting us here in the Canadian Motorsports Network. As Daniel Cudmore coming off a pit road there along the turns 1 and 2 apron. So interesting to see right there. And we'd like to thank all the viewers that have been watching the live broadcast here thus far. 13 watching as I'm seeing here on my monitor. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. Well, actually, I would think you and I might be.
Yeah, we're two of them. But still,
we'll say
that would be the case anyway.
Yeah, 11. Sure, we'll say 10 or 11, whatever it is. But whoever that isn't us, thank you very much for listening and watching to this live broadcast. We hope you've been enjoying this race thus far and this incredible season that we've been having here, historical season here in the Canadian Motorsports Network and the NASCAR Series. Of course, we're really trying to make that transition to iRacing be as special as it has been thus far, as CD Magrum and Corbin McCauley for the lead, separated by 3/10. It looks as though Corbin might be slightly catching back up, as meanwhile back here for 3rd place, Scott Bailey, Darcy Ford, and Jared Ireland are going down as Darcy Ford tries to find a gap there on the outside line. He will, and he's going to even go for the 3rd position here almost. No, Daniel Cudmore is going to try and get past him. I mean, 3 laps down, but, why not try to make it maybe look like to his kids that he's fighting up here for a position.
Oh man. Wow.
So Ford's going to...
Go on.
Was that technically an insult?
No, you're good. It was just hilarious.
I think he's even... No, he joked about that before at a previous race this season.
He did,
so,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so it's fair. It is fair. Daniel, don't come after me.
Yeah.
But would you look at that, though, too? Darcy Ford up to... That's actually the second position, because C.D. Magram is now in pit road, giving the lead back to McCauley. But I'm going to say it again with Ford. That is going to be huge. That's huge for him right now, but hopefully with this pit window here, it's not going to screw him up.
Speaking of pit windows, Ty Higginbotham's already been in. He's a lap down.
What? Anyways, 14.67 seconds there for his pit stop as he goes a lap down. Ty Higginbottom also a lap down. I wonder if he may have come down pit road at some point there, as I think there might have been trouble there between Hurdle and Belmonte. Well, yeah, Hurdle having a bit of a moment there on the high side. As we get back to live, right here we see Paytak, Baum, and Wolford all in close range from 7th through 9th. Ryan Gibson all the way back here for 10th, as there you saw C.D. Magram there, the first car a lap down. We still have a bunch of cars here that will still have to come down pit road for this green flag pit window. But would you look at that right now? This is huge for Darcy Ford. Again, being -2 below the cut line. He's in a prime... I mean, there still is this green flag pit window, but he is in prime position to get up above the cut line ever so slightly. Again, man, that's 2 champions, a rookie, and then... Is there a term that you would say for Andy Hurdle? Do you have one?
I'm trying to think here, like, just...
A journeyman?
I guess, like, I mean, it's his 3rd season now, so he's definitely found a home here, and we're thankful for that.
Yes.
But this is also, you know, the tightest kind of competition he's been in so far over the course of his 3 seasons.
And he's been doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, he's had some good runs here. We talked about it last weekend, or last Tuesday. Talladega, he was right in there for a potential victory during, again, one of those green-white checkered sequences.
Indeed. So now, Darcy Ford's now going to come down pit road right here. He's going to go for the right sides. Wolford also down, also in his pit box right there. Ford is going to go for 4.
And probably smart. Again, we talked a little bit about this off mic during the Crank It Up. You'd have to think there's no conceivable way there's not going to be 2 green flag stops here. Cautions, you know, could obviously alter that, but just the sheer stage length, you'd have to think that, you know, you're looking at multiple stops here.
So yeah, Andy Hurdle here in his pit box is going to go for the right sides here, as whenever we get to lap 130, it's going to be 37 laps to go in the North Carolina 250. Tom Janikowski as well, so Hurdle's going to go for the 4 tires. Janikowski with the right sides. Looks like he's going to go for 4 as well. Andy Hurdle coming off pit road now. McCauley's still leading the way as Jason Butler will now head down pit road. Still a lap down. He'll probably go 2 here.
Notably, it looks like Hurdle has come out behind both Higginbotham and Ford.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be huge right there, as Corbin McCauley's now going to come down pit road and hope for, based on recent trends, hope for a miracle that he doesn't get a penalty, because he has been very frequent with that, especially back at Kansas, most noteworthy.
Yeah, so this is interesting timing here, Riggs. It's lap 130, 37 to go. This is where it kind of seemed like tires were starting to fall off a little bit, especially in stage 2 when you saw that group staying out. They might have 40 in them. We'll have to see who can kind of stretch things here, if anyone's going to be brave enough to try.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see as a bunch of other cars are coming down pit road. Ryan Gibson in his pit box. Looks like it's going to be 4 tires for him. Yes, it will be. There's a bunch of other cars here as well. There's Ireland, Belmonte, Dylan Baum, Matthew Paytak as well. So Gibson does go for 4.
He's still in there, though. 24 seconds. That is a much longer stop than we've been seeing.
Definitely strange right there, as Baum's going to go for 4. I think most of these guys right here are going for the 4. Scott Bailey will now come down pit road. Justin Belmonte with the best time out of those 4 guys right there, but now here's the 5th and Bailey. Mike Marini now down pit road. We'll see what Bailey's going to do in his number 88. I guess you could call it kind of Dale Jr. style Chevrolet in a way.
Yeah, I was thinking Alex Bowman at one point, too.
Or that, yes. Either one. But Bailey's going to go for 4. Marini, I would imagine, probably as well. I would imagine everyone's going to go for 4. Probably be the smartest thing to do, knowing how much of a run that we have coming up.
And this might be, the later stops. This might be guys trying to make it to the end at this point as Mercado peels off.
Mercado in the lead. He'll give it up now to head down pit road as, whoa, Jason Butler's in the grass.
Probably not the first time he's heard that in his life. I don't think it relates to racing all the time, though.
Sure, we'll put it that way, but we're going to have to see what the heck just happened here. Oh, right in the wall, and then, okay, a bit close to Hunter Young right there, and then he definitely becomes a bit of a lawnmower right there.
Thought he was going eastbound and down there for a second.
Oh, so to Newfoundland?
What, eastbound and down?
There's a track called Eastbound Park in Newfoundland.
Oh, I was going for, either the show that, had the rather infamous Kenny Powers in it, or Old School Smokey and the Bandit.
Okay, so yeah, I got the word from Butler there that he definitely got some penalties because he didn't want to cause any wrecks or anything from what happened there. So very unfortunate for the number 10, who's going to fall numerous laps down now. Meanwhile, CD Magrum still leading the way in his number 1 A1 Grassroots Chevrolet, trying to put on a show for his sponsors here 2 races in a row after winning at Talladega last Tuesday. He was adamant with thanking his sponsors and thanking everyone that he is involved with here to give him the opportunity here to race with us for a 2nd season in a row in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR series. And again, it kind of feels like it's like Jimmy Johnson vibes, where in the regular season, it's up and down with him, transitioning from the console to iRacing. But man, again, he didn't score a top 10 finish in any of the last 5 regular season races. In the playoffs, 5th at Richmond, 3rd at Kansas, 1st at Talladega. He's looking for back-to-back victories here at Charlotte to try and sweep the round of 12. I guess you could argue in a Joey Logano 2015 fashion. I don't know if Corbett McCauley will like that as a Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan, but that's the way to put it here.
You said it, so it's out there.
It's out there. I'm going to be on a hit list now.
But, yeah, just going back to Mangrum's run of form here, you talked about, him kind of being outside the top 10 leading up to the playoffs. That slump last year happened in the round of 16, and that's ultimately where he got eliminated last year. So just kind of getting the bad stuff out of the way early. And how many times have we said, you just have to be in it to win it, basically, and Mangrum found his way in. Obviously did some massive damage and kind of upset the apple cart a little bit with the victory at Talladega last week. Yes. And he could find himself evolving into a bit of a player here.
Indeed. So again, Mangrum still leading the way. Higginbottom behind by about 7.5 seconds. You can see right there that's 2nd, then there's 3rd and 4th right there. It's Darcy Ford and Corbin McCauley. We should highlight this. Higginbottom 2nd, Ford 3rd, Andy Hurdle 6th, Dylan Baum is back in 11th. The last car on the lead lap.
So, yeah, that's, I think, and notably, I think Baum was the last of those 4 to make a pit stop. So, seems like, the undercut or whatever you want to call it, coming in a little bit earlier, has helped for now anyway. We'll have to see what happens later in the stint. Those first 3 you mentioned, I wonder if maybe they're going to hope for a caution to kind of level the playing field late, but Dylan Baum, he could still find his way into the equation, if he's able to keep things clean.
Indeed. So again, look at the race summary once again. We had 4 of the 5 cautions in the first stage, but then, well, I guess you could also, add the stage breaks in there as well. But I mean, again, only 5 cautions in this race, much different, 10 less than what we had in the World 300. So a massive step up right there versus what we had back in June. Only 16 laps under caution versus what was like 60-something. We've had 16 lead changes. Again, the pit windows do have a factor in there, but still not too shabby. 9 different leaders. Darcy Ford, notably, with the fastest lap so far to 30.3 on lap 77. Average speed, I imagine that's average speed there of 172 miles per hour. Oh, caution! Oh!
Well, who was that Ford that got... No, he's still up there. Who got spun here?
Oh,
Wolford.
It's Cudmore and Wolford. All right.
Hey, those 2 again.
Oh, jeez. I think that might be a perfectly cut scream right there from me. I think Mike Marini might also be involved now as Cudmore's right front is damaged Wolford's front end. Marini looks like he may also be involved in this one, but this is going to be huge here in the end of this North Carolina 250 as we have 23 laps to go, and we have to take a look at what just happened here. Oh, come on. Help me out. There we go. Oh,
Maybe.
coming off a pit road. Oh, no.
Is that the Ireland curse?
Oh, no.
And
Where's
Wolford-
he going?
Oh, no chance. No chance there, and it's become a very unhappy birthday for Michael Wolford.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't automatically assume, but I seriously want to know what.
Well, again, I wonder if it's the same thing that happened to Jared Ireland off of that restart in stage 1.
Might have locked up the brakes right there or something like that, but wow. This
That is
changes.
a heavy hit.
That changes everything here.
You're damn right it does. So I've just finished saying Higginbotham, Ford, and Hurdle, they might be wanting a caution for tire wear. They've got it.
Jeez.
Yeah, that is, as heavy a collision, and that hit harder than that concrete shot we had just a second ago.
Trying to see if I can find some sort of an angle I can use here, but oh. Or is that the other side? No, that's the other side. Oh my. And then
Bang.
goodness gracious. And I'm going to want to make sure with the pit stops that we all just had here and everything, just make sure who came down and such. So Magrum came down, Higginbottom as well, Ford, Macaulay, Bailey, Hurdle, Ford, Ireland, Paytack, Baum. Cudmore trying to fix the damage right there, although I would imagine after that gnarly hit, yeah.
Yeah, I think that could potentially spell the end of the night for both of those drivers. We'll just have to see here, and notably, again, all 4 of those drivers in, so level playing field within the bubble.
Watch this. Ford doesn't take any tires. Higginbottom does take some form of them. Baum looks like he does as well. I didn't catch how many with Higginbottom, but all I know is Ford took none, Higginbottom did take some, and Baum as well. Oh, my.
Wow.
Oh, this, and he's leading.
Okay, showtime.
Oh, no. What are we about to get here?
Absolute chaos. Like, Talladega's chaos can, like, go light somewhere, basically. This is going to be a wild finish.
I mean,
especially if one of those 4 drivers happens to win.
Either that or imagine if all 4 of them wrecked out.
I mean, I don't think we necessarily want that conclusion. You want it finished on the track always.
I said imagine.
Yeah, you did, but we have a way of kind of making imagination kind of like manifesting destiny in a way.
Commentators, jinx, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's the term.
So, Butler and Mercado are going to get past the pace cars. Everyone's going to go double file here. It's going to be Darcy Ford and Scott Bailey on the front row. Then you have Magrum versus McCauley. Looking at some of the driver... Let's look at the driver info tabs here.
I'm looking at row 3, Higginbotham and Hurdle.
Oh, no. We got... Okay, so yeah, Ford's first, 2 laps led. Bailey's second with 3. There's Magrum at 24. McCauley at 85. Good lord. Ty Higginbottom 6. Andy Hurdle at 2. Oh, hey, Michael Wolford. Jared Ireland's at 5. Belmonte's at 7. Bombs at 10. Jeez, there's been a bunch of guys that have led laps in this one so far. Paytack there, finally a driver that hasn't led any. Marini as well. Gibson's led 2. Mercado 0. Janikowski 0. Wolford.
No picture.
Yeah, I imagine again because he must have started on pit road or something and his left front's completely destroyed right there. Hunter Young, none. Daniel Cudmore still on pit road trying to fix the damages. You'll see the cars coming off turn 4 there in the background. Then Jason Butler still has none either. So the pace car is going to roll off, and I would imagine based on my math here, it'll be under 20 laps to go in the North Carolina 250. We're going to try and make it to the end here, and we'll see what happens as Darcy Ford's going to get the jump right here. That's going to be huge for him as CD Magrum giving him a really good push. Oh, and he's going to dive for it. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, jeez. Ford holding that line, though, on the inside. But Bailey might get a hell of a run here up on the outside.
Oh, Ty Higginbottom's around. Hurdle's in as well.
And there's the caution.
Ireland, big hit from Mercado.
Yeah, Belmonte just got blitzed.
Oh, my goodness.
And you know what this does, though? You know how we were looking at Darcy Ford a little bit sideways for not taking tires? This might be a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Oh, my gosh. You were laughing about that third row, and then they just wrecked. Jeez.
I had a way of seeing it.
Indeed you did. So we're going to have to take a look at what happened. I'll get the chopper angle to start off in this one. Oh, the air getting loose on Hurdle. It's hard to say contact on that one. We'll have to take a closer look. Oh my gosh, that hit.
Yeah, I wonder if Belmonte might have gotten him slightly loose, purely racing for position, it has to be said. But take a look at the 6. He's just going to close right up on Hurdle here. Unless we're going back live.
No,
Unless
look,
this is super slow?
Yeah, this is super slow. Yeah, I think Hurdle just got loose because Belmonte didn't really get him until he was already loose anyways.
Yeah, like, I think if he was getting loose, like, it would have been kind of a draft effect more than anything else. Like, no contact there, but it seems like Belmonte actually got the worst of it. Hurdle gets through.
Oh, and then Mercado.
Ooh.
Up on all 4 wheels, the number 6 car. My gosh, and Jared Ireland, he's got a hood completely blinding him there as well. A wicked wreck. Oh, and Jared Ireland even took a hard hit too. We're going to take a look at that as we'll get this. We'll see if this angle does anything right here. Ugh.
Ooh, man.
Not near as much though as Mercado trying to fill the gap in the middle, and Belmonte was right there to block him from getting anything there, but man. This is huge for the playoff bubble.
Yeah, Dylan Baum very notably getting through that unscathed here. Wouldn't mind taking a look at the number 3 from inside as we look at Ireland here now. Yeah, just kind of Ireland kind of a passenger and all that as we're on board with Baum here now. He had a front row seat to all this.
Woohoo! That may have just saved his season.
It may well have, and again, he picked up 15 of a possible 20 stage points here tonight as it is. So he's done just about everything he can so far to save his season, and he's gotten lucky to avoid all this.
Good Lord.
But
Look at Mercado's angle of this one too as he tries to split the middle or whatever. It looked like the smoke the smoke completely blinded him.
Yeah.
But still, maybe not the most ideal way to try and get through that, I would say.
But I mean, he wouldn't have much room there right in that pack either. Yeah, because he was kind of on Gibson's rear quarter panel there if you look again.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a whole lot of room for him to take avoiding action to get to kind of the inside lane there. So really just kind of an unfortunate circumstance.
See, I'm going to see here if there was any moments where cars came down pit road or maybe just people decided to stay out.
Yeah, this will be the best way to get it now.
And yeah, by the looks of it, I don't think anyone really went for it besides all the damaged cars, of course. So,
of course, it's basically just a caution stacked on top of another one.
Yeah, so Ty Higginbottom is 8th. He's still able to. He's still out here. I don't know if that incident will affect his speed in any way right here. I would imagine it would, but we'll have to wait and see here as Andy Hurdle back here in 13th, still going just fine right there. Jose Mercado just coming off a pit road.
Yeah.
Jared Ireland, I guess you could say, has turned into a modified car.
Ooh, yeah, no kidding. Now, he's going to be a very interesting player here. One lap down, I think he may have come in.
Yeah, I can very quickly turn the ticker off, and we can definitely confirm that at some point.
Because if you recall, even though he was involved, he managed to get through the absolute worst of that incident.
Indeed.
So, positioning shouldn't have been a problem, but again, he's 13th now. He may actually have the edge on his fellow bubble brethren here, but he's also got to navigate some traffic now in the final 13, 14 laps.
So by the math, it looks like we're going to be going back to green with 14 laps to go. And yes, that get a jail-free card right there for Darcy Ford. Hopefully he'll be able to keep, being allowed to apply that card right here. We're going to get back to racing here. The green flag is waving, it will. Now it will. Back underway with the North Carolina 250 to solve this final race of the round of 12. Again, 4 drivers in a bubble. We just saw 2 of them wreck, but they're still up here in a way. Darcy Ford leading the way first right now is all loose moments right there. They're almost 3 wide. Baum had to back out of that one as McCauley got through a bit of a squeeze right there. Ford's going to drop the heck back here as Bailey's going to get a good run. He and Dylan Baum
didn't take the get out of jail free card.
No, it did not at all. And we're going to get a really good battle here for the lead between McCauley, Bailey, and Magram as Dylan Baum tries to get into the battle as well. But Darcy Ford dropping back to 5th. And Bailey's going to try and move. Yeah, Magram! They're still going.
Straight,
Dylan Baum to the inside, though. Ford will be as well. But it looks like Bailey gave McCauley some air right there, and that moved the 17 up to the high side. Mike Marini into the wall. Lots of action going on here, coming down to the wire of this race as Bailey in the lead, looking to win his way in. I mean, right now he is mathematically, we can pretty much say that he's on to the next round. But what he's thinking of right now is he hasn't won in so long. It's been long overdue for him to get a win. He's finished in the top 10 in every race this season except for the season opener at Daytona. He'll look to make it 14 of 15 races worth a top 10 finish. I think he might even be on a top, I don't know if it is a top 5 streak right now or not, but he's gotten a bunch of top 5s as well. He'll try to hang on right here for his first ever win at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And again, what was the date back in 2021 where he won last?
I will quickly take a peek at that, but we say this layout of Charlotte, he does have a Roval victory.
Okay, there is a Roval victory, so there is definitely, obviously, some winning experience in a way, but on just the oval, the full oval only, he's looking for his first one right here as the 17 man. He's inching right on him right there, and we've seen many times this season Bailey and McCauley close together going for it, and it's usually, actually no, not usually, it's been every time where the 17 has eventually beaten him. But again, the number 3 Dylan Baum right here trying to, he's lurking behind them as the top rookie, waiting for something to happen between these two veterans. And then you got C.D. Magrum trying to keep up that momentum from Talladega last Tuesday. Darcy Ford trying to stay up here as Ryan Gibson's going for everything he possibly can, even though I would imagine he's probably out.
Well, he's absolutely must win here as he drops down to 7th. So he's got to find a way to move up and really shock the system here, and he's got to do it, as we get into single-digit lap territory.
Oh, and Dylan Baum, into the grass, trying a bit of a pass in the grass in the sort of style right there. McCauley trying to use the middle groove right there to maybe get a better exit on Bailey.
He had it scouted.
Paytack dives below Ford back there.
And just to circle back to that Roval win for Scott Bailey, that is his last victory, June 15th, 2021.
So yeah, it's been over 2 years since Bailey has visited Victory Lane here in the Canadian Motorsports Network NASCAR Series. And we're under 10 laps to go. It's now 8 laps to go in the North Carolina 250. Folks, invite your friends and family very quickly to join us here on the broadcast here as we wind down to the checkered flag. We're going to get a wicked battle for the victory here to conclude the round of 12. And we may very well be seeing a preview here for the championship between Bailey and McCauley. Bailey's going to get loose off the corner. McCauley's going to go to the high side. They're going to be side by side down the front straightaway. Dylan Baum lurking behind, hoping that maybe the two of them will get together and he'll be able to get past the both of them. Bailey trying to get clear ahead of McCauley, but no, McCauley's going to stay side by side with him on the high side, hoping to maybe clear him through turns 3 and 4 or down the front straightaway. Bailey diving it in. We're coming to 6 laps to go, still side by side.
Is McCauley inching ahead here, though, on that outside?
Ever so slightly as Bailey tries, man. He's trying on that left rear quarter panel. He dives it in again. But I think McCauley might have the better corner exit right here. Again, that side draft, he's going to try with all his might. There's contact. It was net code.
Yeah, he got loose.
Still not clear.
That time with nothing.
Still not clear as Bailey dives it in again, but that's not going to help him with the tire wear. This is going to be perfect for McCauley. But Bailey's going to try all of his might here now with 5 laps to go. McCauley tried to clear, but still not.
Yeah, this is just two absolute titans battling here. Two guys that, obviously McCauley's been all 4 seasons, but Bailey was a day 1. Didn't participate in season 3, but he's been around since the beginning. He knows what this is all about. And you have to know he is absolutely hungry for a checkered flag here, especially given the stakes.
And now it looks like Baum's starting to ever so slightly fall back as C.D. Magrum's starting to catch up here. Will McCauley try to clear it that time? No! Still going at it side by side here with 4 laps to go. It's that ever so slight side draft right there down the straightaways that's really helping Bailey here. But what's not helping is that tire wear between the inside and the outside line, which is really helping McCauley. But man, Bailey is not giving up.
No, I mean,
okay, that might be it. This might be it. think he might clear. No. Still not yet.
Bailey has a way of positioning.
Oh, Bob's
that
coming
car,
back
though.
now. Here he comes.
Holy hell. Maybe just holding back a little bit was Dylan Baum. Again, he's very much in the heat of that battle. Like, a win would do absolute wonders for him right now.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh!
contact!
There's no McCauley, not one bit clear. Bailey's going to dive it in through there. Oh, my
Lord.
goodness, this is a battle for the ages here. We might be getting the greatest finish in NASCAR Series history here as we got 2 laps to go. This is practically 4 cars going for it, as Magrum is very much lurking back there looking for back-to-back wins. McCauley still can't clear Bailey just yet. Bailey really trying to take advantage of that side draft on this race. Finally, McCauley's going to clear him.
That took a long time. That was a hell of a battle, but Bailey...
Oh, Bailey's trying to give him bumps. But that's not working as Dylan Baum's trying to catch up. Oh, Baum trying to dive down the inside. White flag is out. They're going to be side by side for second place. Dylan Baum's going to try and get to McCauley here to try and go for his first career victory. They're going to be side by side. It's double foul racing almost for both positions. Side by side down the back straightaway. It's a guy that's dominated all season, and then you got a guy looking for his first win. Here they come.
Yeah, here comes Baum through turn 3. This is going to be next.
Bailey's going to bump
with a bump. And
they're going to be side by side off the corner. Who's going to get at the line? McCauley's going to get it.
Baum tried to go through the grass there at the very end. Might have actually been over the line when that happened. But holy hell, what a battle that last 10 laps.
Have you ever?
No.
Oh my goodness, what a way to wrap up the round of 12 right there. Unbelievable stuff. Side-by-side racing for over 10 laps. And Dylan Baum about came close right there to his first career victory. But that right there I think is going to solidify his spot in the next round. What a hell of a performance knowing that he was below the cut line heading into the race. Oh my gosh, I'm speechless. Indeed so. So now we'll finally look at the Kyle's Fried Chicken Barbecue, Wing Snob, and Rampage Coffee Co. race results here again, unofficial, just like the playoff situation as well, although we can pretty much make a consensus based on the math from Jordy, of course, and just overall, finishes and such, but yeah, prevailing in that one was the number 17 of Corbin McCauley, who I think, what is that now, 8 wins?
That sounds right to me.
Just in case, yeah, that will be 8 wins. As a matter of fact, it says 7 here on Sim Racer Hub, but it will be indeed 8 wins for McCauley. So, and again, too, we've said it so many times, and even McCauley said so many times, every single time he has won a race, he has had to claw at it and earn his way to it, even if it's been a dominant win. And kind of at the World 300, it wasn't as much of a case of, quote-unquote, earning it in a way. But this time around, he indeed had to earn this one, and what a hell of a way to do that. Dylan Baum will finish second in what was by far his best performance all season, and it came in absolute clutch knowing he was below the cut line by just a couple points heading into tonight's race. Scott Bailey rounds out the podium with a third-place finish. He was right there again. He's been so long overdue for his first win since 2021. But again, third place not too shabby for him, and hey, he didn't wreck out. That's what matters right there. The number 1 is C.D. Magrum, will claim 4th. He did have winning speed, and he led many laps, but just falling short right there. Still great momentum heading into the next round. Of course, Matthew Patek rounds out the top 5. He will move on to the round of 8. Definitely a great name to see moving on after, he's had a lot of struggles this season completely out of his control. Great to see him still in contention for the Earl Ross Cup. Darcy Ford in 7th place. And then Ty Higginbottom in 8th. Those are 2 guys right there that were above the cut line heading into the race, but I really do wonder what the situation will be between those 2 when we look at the unofficial math, of course. And then you got a couple non-playoff drivers rounding at the top 10 in Mike Marini and Tom Janikowski. Janikowski, wow, what a great round for him. Of course, not in the playoffs, but man, 4th at Talladega, 10th here at Charlotte. Couldn't get any better than that for a guy who hasn't been very consistent when it comes to attendance, of course, but whenever he does come, he enjoys his time here and he does his best, and he's certainly improved every race that he's done, and he has shown that here in this round. And Jordy, I'll let you take it away with the other half of the field.
All right, so we will go ahead and do just that here with Jose Mercado coming home in 11th place. Jared Ireland down in 12th. He will probably be a little bit closer to the bubble than admittedly he would like, but we'll get that all sorted out in a minute. He's also the last of the cars to finish on the lead lap. Andy Hurdle, a lap down in 13th. Again, this is relevant to the bubble picture here. Michael Wolford, 2 laps down in 14th. Then you've got guys who, had a few issues over the course of the race. Hunter Young there in 15th. Jason Butler, 16th, 10 laps down. Dan Cudmore, 11 laps down. Justin Belmonte, 19 laps down in 18th. And then Kyle Knoll, obviously, just didn't get 1 lap in, unfortunately for him.